A little while ago, I did a video on the top lessons that we can learn from the famous tycoon and ruthless businessman, John D. Rockefeller. If you haven't seen that video yet, link will be in the description as well as the notification in one of these two corners if you're on desktop. If you've lived in the year 2000 something, you've probably heard of a guy named Jeff Bezos. The founder and CEO of Amazon will remain the richest person in the world even after his divorce from his ex-wife Mackenzie. And in just about 20 years, Amazon stock grew from $5 to over $1,800. Another fun fact, Amazon is the second world's largest employer behind Walmart. Coming from humble beginnings and having a visionary mindset, there are a lot of lessons that we can learn from the man. So in this video, I'm going to be covering the top 5 lessons that we can take away from Jeff Bezos. Lesson number 1. Your life is the sum of your choices. Bezos takes responsibility for his life, and so should you. Everyone has certain strengths and weaknesses, and Bezos emphasizes that what you do with those gifts and challenges will show your true character. Bezos was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico to a teenage mother and a father who owned a bike shop. His parents divorced at a very young age, and he could have allowed those challenges to define him, but he chose for them not to. In high school, he excelled in science and went on to graduate from Princeton, and he actually became, by the age of 30, a vice president at a hedge fund on Wall Street. He's a great reminder that we can't choose our IQ or our parents, but we can choose how we act. It's what we do every day and whether we adhere to our core values. Bezos embraced a growth mindset. It was growth over perfection and effort over ability. That's exactly what Bezos learned in his career. Your abilities don't define you, but your choices do. You can choose to sit there and complain and blame, or you can get up and take action. Lesson number 2, learn to accept criticism. Especially when you're a leader of a trillion-dollar company, you're going to definitely take some criticism. Learning to accept criticism is one of the hardest yet most important skills to learn. When Jeff Bezos launched Amazon in 1994, he faced massive competition from large retailers like Barnes & Noble. He faced a ton of skepticism, and critics wondered how he can compete with these already established brick-and-mortar businesses. All the headlines predicted Amazon's demise. So how did Bezos withstand the criticism, stay the course, and go on to grow Amazon into the powerhouse it is today? He learned to embrace criticism. His advice was, when you're criticized, take a look in the mirror and decide whether or not your critics are right. If they are, don't resist. Criticism is very important to your personal being and your business growth. You are the star of your own life, and as the star of your own life, you have blind spots, and it takes truly trusted and invested friends and colleagues to help you see them. So when a trusted employee or a valued customer or a loyal friend criticizes you, take Bezos' advice. When you've taken an honest look at yourself, look at the criticism for what it's worth and see if you could take something away from it. There may be truth to it, and if you can't learn to accept criticism, you'll never grow. The biggest gift you can give yourself is to learn to accept and learn from honest feedback. This is just one of the many skills that Jeff Bezos has honed in on to grow Amazon and other companies. Lesson number 3. Take bold yet calculated risks. The unfortunate, harsh truth is that your dreams may never come true if you don't take risk on them. If you do not jump, you will never ever fly. The ideas you need for change is within reach if you just take the chance on them. But there is a common confusion when it comes to taking risks. We should not and do not jump into something without giving it some thought or pre-assessment. This logical fallacy usually just ends up leading to failure. Good entrepreneurs don't necessarily like risk, they seek to reduce it. Starting a company is already risky, so you need to start from the early days, systematically eliminating any risk that you can. When Bezos first started Amazon, he did not just jump right in. He gave it a lot of thought and did his homework. Yes, he was well aware that it could definitely fail without a doubt. In 1994, Jeff Bezos came to the decision whether he should quit his job as a New York City hedge fund manager, which paid 6 figures a year, or start his own online bookstore. He knew that this bookstore could either be huge or just fall right flat on his face. So he coined this framework called the regret minimization framework. This played a great role in helping him decide that, hey, look, he would definitely regret not doing this and jumping on his vision later down in life. So he decided to take the chance. The fact is that when you're coming from humble beginnings, even a state of poverty, you really do not have much to lose, so why not take the risk? The worst feeling is then later down in life regretting that you didn't follow your dream. So the takeaway is to take risk, but be sure to analyze it. Lesson number 4, it's all about delayed gratification. When you're grinding and hustling, it's hard to forget about the fact that it's all about the big picture. In other words, you have to think about the benefits that you might experience in years or even decades from now. How long do you think it took Jeff Bezos to make Amazon.com profitable? Maybe a few months, 6 months, a year? Well, actually for Bezos, it took 6 years for Amazon to finally be profitable. And even then, it was only a mere $5 million profit on a total combination of $1 billion invested with a B. Now obviously, thinking long term takes an ocean deep worth of patience, but Bezos was in no hurry to make a quick profit because he wanted to keep prices low for his customers and invested every nickel that they made back in. Bezos said that if everything you do needs to work on a 3-year time horizon, you are competing against a lot of people. He then went on to say that if you're competing in a 7-year time horizon, well, then you're competing against a fraction of those people because very few companies are willing to do that. This was definitely no easy feat. He was a CEO of a Fortune 500 company and had investors breathing down his neck. The reality is that you just have to be misunderstood for a long period of time and be willing to accept that. He even said that we're very comfortable being misunderstood. We've had a lot of practice with that. This delayed gratification strategy definitely pissed off a ton of investors in the short term, but ended up paying big time in the long run. Remember, he was growing this right at the time of the dot-com bubble when there was just a ton of internet companies on the come up there with eBay, and he survived the big burst of the bubble. Amazon started posting bigger profits year after year after year. We just simply cannot realize our full potential as people or as companies unless we are planning for the long term. If you're always thinking for the quick buck or the short-term profit, you are doing it wrong. Lesson number 5, innovation is key to sustainability. What is dangerous is not to evolve. Remember, Amazon just started out as an ebook retailer, but it hasn't stopped expanding since its inception. Amazon is basically the antithesis of Apple. Instead of focusing on just a few core products and just keep selling those over and over again like Apple does, Amazon sells basically everything. Think about how many times you probably ordered from Amazon in the last month, the last 6 months, or even the last year. Think about how many boxes you see at the post office or on doorsteps with the Amazon logo on them. There are plenty of people out there who just simply dedicate their entire life to Amazon and order everything on there. Not just with Amazon, but Bezos can be seen doing this with many other ideas and companies. He even tried building a 10,000-year clock and put up $42 million of his own money to do so. Some of his other side projects include Blue Origin, which is an aerospace company. You need to adapt, you need to evolve, you need to innovate if you want to sustain growth. Going back to number 2, it's important to take the criticism of your customers and turn that into something great. If you're not evolving, you are losing. Jeff Bezos has gone through thick and thin and has continued to keep us on the edge of our seats to see what Amazon will do next or what company they will take over next. You can apply a lot of his thinking to your own business and your personal life as well. There's a lot we can learn from him, and I want to know what your thoughts are on Jeff Bezos. Do you think he is a good leader? Do you think you can learn something from him? What have you learned from him? Tell me in the comments down below. If you enjoyed that video, if you got value out of it, be sure to smash that like button. It just helps with the algorithm so that way more people can see videos just like this. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel as well. I post videos every single week for you to enjoy. And if you'd like to be notified every time I upload a new one, be sure to hit that little notification bell as well. Hope you enjoyed that. See you in the next one.